Hello and welcome, student athletes, to becoming a LinkedIn power user. My name is Matt Bunker and I am an alumnus of BYU. I graduated in '02 with a degree in American Studies and Business. And I was talking with Coach Paul Tidwell about helping you guys out in a meaningful way, and he just mentioned how dang busy you are, and like, you guys are just so busy. And believe me, I know. I worked for higher education for 8 years, 3 of which were for BYU, which was amazing. I wish I were still there. But yeah, I got to know student athletes, and I know what your schedule is like. Practice and workout in the morning, class and study in the afternoon, and then for a lot of you, family and dealing with children and all the rest in the night. And man, I'll tell you, that is a very, very busy schedule for an undergraduate. So to help you out, I'm doing this recording instead of a seminar on campus, so you can just watch it on your own time. Hopefully this will help you out a little bit. But at the end, I'll have my contact information up on a slide. I'd love you guys to reach out to me at any time. I'll be happy to talk you through some advice that I could give you. Yeah, anyway, I'll give you some more information about who I am during the presentation, but let's go ahead and dig in. So what is a LinkedIn power user? A LinkedIn power user really is somebody who uses LinkedIn to manage their career. So this is Deep Nishar. He used to be the vice president of product development for LinkedIn. He says that the novice users of LinkedIn use it to find a job. All right, so they use it as a resume, right? But the power users of LinkedIn use it to manage their careers. Okay, so what does it mean to manage your career? Managing your career is way more than just saying, okay, I'm going to throw up my resume on LinkedIn, I'm going to find a job, and we're good to go. Okay, that's good. That's a start, right? But managing your career is actually using LinkedIn as kind of like the modern day Rolodex. It's a way to know where your people are, how they're doing, what they're up to. Guys, you've heard the old saying that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That's true. In a lot of ways, it's true. You have to be competent, right? You have to know your stuff, but you also have to know your people. You have to know who they are. But managing your career is understanding what you want, what other people want, and then basically just building towards just improving yourself towards your ultimate goal and helping others do the same. But the very first thing you have to do to manage your career is know what you want, know who you are, know what you're selling. And that starts with understanding your brand. What is your brand and how do you build it? Okay, you've got to build your brand. So what is your current brand? I would recommend that everybody on this presentation, after this is over, take 5 minutes and Google yourself. Basically, if you don't like what you find, so neither will your potential employer. And my guess is that what you'll find is pretty decent. You're going to find awesome news stories about your athletic statistics and great highlight videos of catching touchdowns in the end zone or dunking over a Utah Ute or whatever. All that stuff is great. But how does that sell your professional brand? That's something you really have to answer for yourself, okay? Because your online profile all across social media, so LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, even Pinterest in some cases, your online profile sells your professional character. Okay, most people think, okay, well, LinkedIn is kind of like the business social media. Facebook is kind of like the personal social media. And then Twitter is just this weird microblog thing where Johnny Linehan posts funny videos of him photobombing Kalani after a win, which is awesome, by the way. But what is it? Where are you selling? How are you using these devices to really sell yourself? What is your professional character? I would recommend you guys make sure that you just understand that and that you know your audience, okay? So let's talk about that for a second. What is your current brand? So let me tell you this. There is a big difference. We're thinking about LinkedIn right now. Just LinkedIn, not everything. But there's a big difference between a resume and a LinkedIn profile. Okay, a resume basically will kind of give a very two-dimensional perspective of who you are and what you've done in your career. Your LinkedIn profile gives a three-dimensional view of that. Okay, it really allows the person to see some of your portfolio. What are some of the things that you've worked on? What do you look like? What are some of the things you're interested in? Are you devoted to certain causes? I mean, what are those things? Okay, and LinkedIn really is the pre-interview, and it's something that these people will say, you know what, this guy is worth an interview. Let's bring him in. Or they'll say, you know what, probably not for me. That's okay. They will deny you the interview. But you got to make sure that's why you have to make sure that your brand is on point. By the way, when there's three important questions that for the recruiter that they'll try to answer without having to talk to you. They're going to ask you, can you do the job? All right. They're going to ask your LinkedIn profile, can this person do the job? And based on what you have there, that will probably give them enough reason to invite you in for an interview. They'll ask the question, will this person fit in to our organizational culture? And if they can say, yeah, that person will fit in, they'll probably bring you in for the interview. But the most important question is do I like you? I mean, they realize that they're going to spend a significant amount of time with you beyond just paying you money. They're going to spend time with you. They're going to want to be able to know, hey, can this guy take a joke? Can this girl really help me out in certain things? I mean, what are they going to see on your LinkedIn profile that will say, yeah, you know what, this person will be somebody I want to be around? And, you know, to kind of extend that concept a little bit, I've talked with a lot of recruiters, and I asked them, well, why did you hire, John over Jim and Jane? They're basically the same on paper. And the recruiters, all of the recruiters said, oh, I just liked them better. Yeah, they all have great degrees from great universities. They all have pretty great work experience. But I just liked John better. And what it does is it really speaks to their inner 3-year-old, okay? It's like that's the person that they want to play with on the playground. So that's why they hired him, okay? And, honestly, guys, there's nothing you can do about that. It's just a personal preference. But you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward in every stage of the job hiring process to make sure that you're authentic to yourself, okay? And that you are basically selling your brand in the best possible way. Okay, so like I said, just to kind of recap that, recruiters are looking at social media for the right fit in 3 areas: incompetence, motivation, and fit. Are you going to be able to fit into the culture? And are you likable? Okay. So now we talked a little bit about several different places on social media, on the internet, where you're going to exist. This infographic basically tells a tale of really what recruiters look for or look at to find new people to hire. If you'll notice, the big 3 are here: Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, of recruiters that were polled in this study, 48% use LinkedIn exclusively to find people. That's almost half, okay? That's a ton. So that's why LinkedIn is so critical, guys. You have to have a really solid LinkedIn profile. But if you look at the other numbers, almost when you see that it says that that 10% of recruiters use Facebook and LinkedIn, 19% use LinkedIn and Twitter, and 21% use all 3, you really have to have a good presence on the big 3. You have to understand what that is, okay? So make sure that your brand, when I say your brand, who you are, okay? That's what I mean. that your brand is represented, all right? And it's not, more importantly, that it's not misrepresented. That's really important. Don't try to represent yourself. Okay, I can't make this more clear. Do not try to represent yourself well. Try to not misrepresent yourself, okay? Make sure that you're not misrepresenting who you are as a person. And that's incredibly critical. So don't do anything that's questionable on Facebook or on Twitter, and certainly don't do anything stupid on LinkedIn. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Who is your first audience? What do I mean by first audience? Do I mean recruiters? Do I mean buddies that are trying to hook you up with a job? What do I mean? What I mean is your very, very, very first audience is the internet itself. The internet is your first audience. You have to write your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook stuff, your Twitter stuff for the internet, okay? You have to make sure that you are saying, hey, internet, here I am, okay? The internet, hey, internet, I'm over here. That is who you need to impress first. All right, so what I'm really talking about here is search engine optimization. All right, now you're thinking, what the crap? What does search engine optimization have to do with anything? Well, here this is the answer to that question. Your SEO value, okay, your search engine optimization value directly relates to your internet presence. Okay, what it does is if the internet knows who you are, if the internet says, yep, there's Matt Bunker, then the person that's searching for different skills, different experiences, different education, different knowledge, different abilities, and it comes up saying, and the internet says, you know what, here, I'm going to recommend Matt Bunker given your profile searches. That's what I mean, you see? So how do you improve your SEO value? What you do is you be active and appropriate on social media. You want to make sure that you're posting at least once a week to LinkedIn and to Facebook and to Twitter, okay? And then you also want to, if you have Instagram and Snapchat, that's fine too. But you want to be posting a lot to the big three. You also want to post and link to multiple sites, all right? So like, let's say that you wrote a blog post for a company and you wanted to link that back to your LinkedIn page, make sure you do it. Because what it does is it basically sends a tie-in to another website, and it's basically that website says, yep, here's Matt Bunker, all right? He's alive, he's well, he's contributing. The internet is your very first recruiter, all right? But you really want to make LinkedIn your home base. That's when you're looking for jobs, LinkedIn is your home base. You want to be most active on it. And that means you want to read the articles there. You want to post information about cool stuff that is happening professionally. You want to just be active on LinkedIn. Like I said, with LinkedIn, it doesn't take a lot. Once a week is really the bare minimum. I would recommend, once a day, but at least once a week to keep your profile fresh. Make LinkedIn your home base when you're looking for a job. Okay, so what makes a good LinkedIn profile? Okay, let me just put a face to a name. Here I am. Hello, I'm Matt. This is my the top bar of my LinkedIn profile. Every single thing in this profile is calculated. Everything. And you're thinking, what are you talking about, Bunker? That's crazy. There's just too much to deal with here. No, there's not. LinkedIn is a very usable tool. Everything from the photo choices to the keywords that are listed here. Everything is calculated. Now, while we're here on this page, I just want to point out a few things, okay? If you see the cover photo, that's Salt Lake City, okay? There's two reasons I posted it there. Number one is that's where my company is. My company is in Salt Lake City. And so people will say, oh, okay, cool, you're in Salt Lake, that's a rad city. It gives me a lot of context. But the other thing is I grew up there. I'm proud of it. It's a cool place, and what I'm mostly proud of is I'm the only person in my family that decided to go to BYU, which is awesome. All the rest of my family decided to settle for Utah. But anyway, I decided to reach for the stars. Anyways, but yeah, I grew up in Salt Lake, and I'm proud of it. My photo here, like if you look at my photo, you think, all right, he's a happy guy. He's pretty cool. He's got a purple shirt on, a light purple tie. He must be pretty hip or whatever. And that's by design. If I were going into finance, I probably wouldn't wear a purple shirt. I'd probably wear a white shirt and a suit coat. If I were going into I don't know, physical education, I probably wouldn't wear a tie at all. I'd probably wear a t-shirt with a flat brimmed hat and maybe an action photo of me hitting a baseball or something. But if just make sure that whatever you want to do, that your profile picture represents what that will be. Okay. And a lot of people have asked me in the past, should I have a profile picture? The answer is absolutely. You definitely should. Basically, because I don't know, maybe this is just a rule of thumb for me, but if I am searching around on LinkedIn for people that I'm, looking to add, I don't look at people who don't have a profile picture. So a lot of people won't either. So yeah, I would recommend that you have a good representative profile picture. And then down below my profile picture is a URL. Okay, that URL is custom, and you have to customize your URL. Basically what you do is if you want, I can talk to you about this later, but this is something that I use on my business cards. It's something that I use on my email signatures, so people have an easy way of understanding who I am. And as a business development person, as a salesperson, it's so important because they want to know, hey, who am I getting into business with? I don't want to get into business with someone who I don't really like, I don't really trust. So you know what? Your LinkedIn profile, like I said, it represents your brand. And you have to be able to share that. Okay, so like I said, use a relevant photo. You got to make sure you do that. Now, your keywords are critical. When you're talking about the internet being your very first audience, your keywords are literally everything. You have to make sure that you are speaking to the internet in a language that the internet understands. And for example, let's look at this. So here I have the other side of my profile, my upper part of my profile. And normally, let's just talk about this. Break this down. So my name, Matt Bunker. Okay, my full name is Alan Matthew Bunker. But I don't put my full name because the only person that calls me Alan is my doctor, because he doesn't know who the heck I am, or someone at the DMV when they're calling my name after I've waited there for 2.5 hours. And the only person that calls me Matthew is my mother, my mom, and that's either when she's mad at me or when she's talking about me to someone else. And so, I also don't put Bunker. A lot of my friends just call me Bunker. A lot of my really good friends call me Matty. But people that know me and that interact with me professionally know me as Matt Bunker. Okay, so that's what I put there, because that's most likely what they're going to search for is when they're trying to find me on LinkedIn is Matt Bunker. So make sure that you are putting the name that you're most commonly known by. Under that, you see business development, sales, marketing, deal flow, consulting. Okay, that line is usually reserved for your current position, and you have a choice that if you want to put it like BYU student, that's cool, because that is your current position. But you know what? Don't waste the space. Do yourself a favor and figure out what your SCAs are. And now you're asking, what the crap is a SCA? Well, a SCA is an acronym for skills, knowledge, and abilities. Okay, skills, knowledge, and abilities. Think about what your top 5 or 6 SCAs are, and then put them there. All right. So business development, sales, marketing. Those are the top 3 things that I'm responsible for. Deal flow, consulting. Those are other things. So when people are they're searching for business development professional or business development Salt Lake City, they're going to find Matt Bunker because that's all over my profile, business development. Okay. Then I put Salt Lake City, greater Salt Lake City area, mainly. I mean, this one's kind of simple, but it's because that's where my company is. And I'm also in the computer software industry because that's what industry I'm in. Down below, you have my current position, my previous positions, and my education. That stuff you can't really change because it's just relatable to the experience section of LinkedIn. So that stuff is kind of just static. Next is your summary. Now this is where you can really load the box with all kinds of keyword nuggets for the internet to find. One thing, a few things that I'll mention here. When you're writing your summary, write it in third person. So you're writing it as if you were a reporter talking about you. And use names that are varied. Okay, so I start out Matt Bunker, Matts, Bunkers, Mr. Bunker, all these things. You're basically loading your summary with different variations of your name. So when people are searching for you, that it will have more of a higher likelihood of the internet finding you and putting you higher on the list of SEO value. Also, I wanted to put things like, strategic business development professional. I mean, those words are very, very carefully chosen. Strategic, business development, social media expert, marketer. All right. And then I put the companies I work for. I put networking a lot. I mean, all these things. These are really, really important to just figure out what words will really sell your brand, and then tell the internet, say, hey, you know what? Here I am. I mean, another thing that I did is I found out that for the most part, people were finding me based on searches on Matt Bunker, on my name. So most of the time, people are going to be looking for you directly. And because they've gotten a referral about you, or they've gotten some information that says, hey, you know what, there's this guy out in Salt Lake City, he's pretty cool, give him a call, and they'll say, what's his name? They'll say his name is Matt. So they'll search for different variations of your name. So one of the things that I've done in the past is I'll say different spellings of Matt Bunker's name, all right? And I'll say like Alan Matthew Bunker, Alan spelled different ways, Matthew spelled different ways, Matt spelled different ways, Bunker spelled different ways. And so I'm basically feeding the internet what it needs to know about my name, so people will find me easier. And I apologize if I'm saying my name too much. That's not the point. My point is you need to basically know what language the internet speaks, and then format your profile accordingly. Okay, moving on. The next is your education. A couple of things about your education portion of LinkedIn. So, a lot of you right now will only have your degree from BYU there, which is perfectly fine. But eventually you're going to have additional degrees. And what I would recommend is a couple of things. Number one, don't ever put test scores or GPA on your educational history, namely because it doesn't matter. I mean, once you get out into the workforce, no one gives a crap about whether you got a 4.0 or a 1500 or a 700 on your GMAT score. What they care about is, can you do the job? And if you're putting your GPA and your class rank and all the rest, unless you're valedictorian or salutatorian, no one cares. I mean, that's critical. Just don't do it. It's kind of bad form. The other is if I would recommend you do put your major, and if you have a minor, to put your minor. And if you are active in any clubs, or of course you guys should put down like what sport you played, and if you were involved in any other clubs or causes on the campus, that would be helpful too. Okay, we'll move on to the next one with your skills. All right, your skills are so important because this is really where LinkedIn will kind of allow. This is where LinkedIn will organize you into groups. Okay, and there's this website called linkedin.com/alumni. That you need to go to after you Google yourself. You have to go check it out and just kind of start playing with it and see how it works. Basically, what it does is it connects you to every single other alumni on LinkedIn from BYU. Okay, and there's some principles that I'll teach you later on today that will make more sense. But basically, you're going to have people that love you already because you have BYU behind your name. And they're going to be more connected to you, but they can find you easier if you put your skills down and you list your skills in ways that kind of help them know how to help you. So here you have why are these skills listed this way? Okay. Well, these are skills that I have and I've identified as things that I'm good at, and so I want to list them here. And then the reason why there's numbers next to them is because people who are in my network have said, yeah, Matt's good at leadership. He's a good leader. Or, yeah, he's good at public speaking. Or, yeah, he's great at social media marketing, and he's an amazing entrepreneur and all the rest. Basically, they're going to endorse me for things. All right, they're going to say, yeah, he's really good at these things. And so when what this does is it increases my SEO value. So I'm listed higher on the search for people who are looking for leaders or for public speakers. And also, down below it talks about writing and resume writing and team leadership. Okay, those are all related, but they just don't have as many endorsements, which is okay. But they'll still be on the radar for the internet to find me, the search engines to find me. And plus, what's also cool is this also links me to all these people's LinkedIn profiles. So it reaches back out to the internet and says, okay, all these people are still, they're relevant, they're alive, they're making good decisions on the internet. I'm going to link them back to Bunker's profile, and it's going to strengthen both of their profiles because it's going to create a tie between the two. Okay, so make sure you put those skills down and understand what they are. Next, you want to join groups. Join groups that make sense to you. All right, so like if you're a business student, join the Management Society. Join the Management Society of the place you want to eventually live. All right, so if you want to live in San Francisco, go join the Silicon Valley Management Society LinkedIn group and start making connections. If you are an American Studies student like me, go join the Management Society out in DC, or join the Humanities or Political Science group out in Washington. If you're huge into like fashion and design, maybe go look for those groups that are based out of New York or wherever you're wanting to live eventually. But basically, the point is you want to get involved in these groups, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so join as many groups as are relevant to who you want to eventually become. So just a reminder, keywords are absolutely critical. Make sure that you're using words that are specifically designed to what you need. And the reason why is because the internet needs to know you are alive. It just has to. Okay? Now we're getting into a little bit more of the experience portion. This is kind of where the resume comes in. All right, you need to know what you're doing. Again, keywords here are really important. You want to make sure you know this, so you can actually link different things to your profile that tell more of a story about who you are. kind of gives you a three-dimensional full color picture to your people that will to the people that are searching for you, that will give them an idea of who they're thinking of doing business with. And also what this does is it like I said before, it pulls in different websites that you've posted to, or different things that you've done, and it basically tells the search engines that you are a very relevant and alive person. Okay. Now, for example, what I mean by that is, here's a video that's posted on the MBA page on YouTube, that if you clicked on it, would take you to that page. All right. Or you have a person that wants to endorse you, that is giving you a recommendation. A couple of things about recommendations is that you want to make sure you're getting real recommendations. Get recommendations from people that know you and your work ethic. I would definitely recommend getting recommendations from people like teammates or coaches or classmates or group mates or whatever you're doing, people that know who you are, right? I would recommend that you not get endorsements or recommendations from people that don't really know you. Like, don't get a recommendation from one of the 12 apostles unless you know them personally, okay? That's the only reason you would do that, is only if they know you personally. Just because, if basically recruiters can sniff out phonies really quickly. And, speaking from somebody who helped recruit for a top tier MBA program, I can tell you that when letters of recommendation come in, when they're from people who don't really have any business knowing what your day-to-day operations were, we just kind of say, that's kind of a junk recommendation, even if it's coming from somebody who is very well known. So anyway, there's that. So again, I want you to join groups. Join groups, it tells LinkedIn that you exist, which increases your SEO value. Some strategies for groups. Now, groups, basically, if you think about what a LinkedIn group is, it's basically a page, a separate page, but on LinkedIn. And so you can link, join like 50 groups or something, and like things that are real, like things that are relevant to you and that what you want to do. So read them, a few times a day, or every day, or at least once a week, and just kind of say, yeah, hey, that's a cool article, I like it. Or, hey, you know what, that's a really, really cool article, I'm going to share it. So you want to share articles, you want to share information with people, and you want to even blog. If you have 30 minutes, write a quick 3-paragraph blog about something on LinkedIn. And then go ahead and share it across all your groups, and share it across to your LinkedIn profile, and share it across Facebook and Twitter. Because what that does is it tells the search engines, hey, you know what? This guy's alive. This guy's real. He's not being warehoused. He's definitely alive. So you want to basically, again, like I said, you want to tell the internet that you are a real person, that you are a breathing person. Okay, so next we want to talk about leveraging your network. Okay, we're shifting gears a little bit from building a good LinkedIn profile to actually let's say you have your LinkedIn profile built out and you're at 100% all-star capacity on LinkedIn. Okay, now it's time to start leveraging your network. Now, what does that mean? Leveraging your network. Well, first of all, I want to just kind of give you an idea about the job market. Okay, so in the job market, think about the job market. All the jobs that are published, all the jobs that exist right now that are open to anybody, well, only 20% of those jobs ever get published. Okay, and then you have so many people competing for those published jobs because they don't know how to leverage their network. I would recommend you apply for the jobs because you're probably more qualified than most people that are applying for them. But I would definitely think about people within your network that have a lot of connections because, goodness, I mean, I think about the job I'm in, the two jobs I'm in actually, neither of them were ever published. They were basically saying, yeah, we need someone to do business development for us, and so that's what I'm doing. And mainly because I helped start the company and I helped really get things going. That's part of that's what I'm talking about. And if I didn't know how to leverage my network and do things that are helpful to me and my family, I would never have had these opportunities. So I would rather be swimming in the big pool of jobs that never get published with far fewer fish than swimming in the tiny little hot tub pool with tons of fish. So it's kind of the opposite between being a big fish in a small pond. Now I'm a big fish with not, I'm a huge fish in a huge pond with not very many other huge fish. All right. So I'm trying to basically I'd much rather be in the big pool. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging your network. Now, what does this all mean? There's levels of networking, and we're going to talk about like how do you leverage a network, who you go to when you're asking for help, and you need to ask for help. By the way, you need to something that's really important. The levels of networking are kind of inherent, but we'll talk about this for a minute. Okay, so here's Cosmo. Here's you, all right? And you have several different levels within your network, and these just happen. These are going to happen no matter what. Your first level, the ones that are closest to you, they are your love group. These people love you. They will step in front of a bus for you. Okay, these are people that will take a bullet for you. This is your family. These are your very, very close friends. These are people that love you, even though they know the bad things about you. Okay, and they will do anything they can to help you out. Okay. So the next level really is your what I call your like a brother group. All right, these people are like a brother but not quite a brother. All right, they're close friends but not very close friends. They're long-term associates. You've had a lot of dealings with these people. You've had profound shared experiences with them. So think about, for those of you who've been on missions, think about mission companions. Think about teammates. If you're a senior on the team you're playing for, you played with these people for 4 or more years, and these are people you've had. You've gone on the road with them. You've shared a room with them at night. You've had long, deep conversations with them about things that are really like when you talk about important things. You've talked about important things with these people. They know who you are. All right. They're probably bridging on they're kind of breaking the barrier between level 2 and level 1. They're close to becoming very close friends and friends for life. But right now they're just in level 2. Level 3, now this is kind of your weak connections group. I call it my cup of coffee club. Of course I don't drink coffee, but most everybody else in the world does that you'll work with. And the whole point of this is, could you see yourself spending 15 minutes in the Starbucks in New York with this person, just kind of catching up? Would you be able to just say, "Hey, John, what's going on, man?" and see him on the street, getting off the subway, and head over, say, "Hey, you want to go grab a cup?" And you head over to the Starbucks. You get a Diet Coke or whatever you're drinking, and he gets his coffee, and you just guys sit down and have a chat. You could catch up. All right, so these are loose or shared experiences. You've had these loose connections. All right, this is a new connection or a weak connection. So, for example, for most of you, I'm in this group. I'm now in your level 3 because you've listened to this for about 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. You're going, "Hey, Bunker, he's a good dude, man. I feel comfortable calling him up and just having a quick conversation with him and spending 15 minutes catching up." All right, so that's what I mean by your cup of coffee club. All right. Now, level 4, this is the who are you club. What I mean by this is these are connections of your connections. So these are connections of people in your levels 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So, for example, you'll say, hey, I'm going to call Bunker and I'm going to see how he's doing, kind of get some advice, and then I'll say, hey, you know what, I'm really thinking about going into music dance theater. Do you know anybody in the MDT world? And I'm like, actually, I do. What are you thinking of doing? And all of a sudden, the connections that you don't know, but I do, will soon become your connection. And so, really, this level 4 is the rest of the world. All right. So this is everybody else that you don't really know. And you want to make sure that that you understand that you're still connected to these people. All right. So the whole purpose of understanding these levels of networking is to get from level 4 to level 1. Let me tell you something. It's super easy to get from level 4 to level 3, like super easy. Okay. And it's really, really, like I've already become a level 3 for most of you. Becoming a level 2 for you, that's going to take some effort. We're going to talk about, like, you're going to have to prove yourselves to be trustworthy to me to be able to get to level 2 for becoming one of my level 2s. I'm going to have to be trustworthy to you. Trust is everything in business, guys. Trust is literally everything. If you can't be trusted, if you can't trust someone else, you got nothing. The only currency that I speak is trust. I do not care how much money you make. I do not care what kind of car you drive. All I care about is, can I trust this person? Because if I can, I'll do business with them. If I can't, no chance. That's really important. Now, as far as getting from level 3 to level 2, that's really tough. Getting from level 2 to level 1 is extremely hard. There's just a much higher bar to cross, which is why there's far exponentially fewer people in level 1 than level 2, and from level 2 to level 3. Here's the thing. It can be done and it needs to be done. You want to get people closer to level 2 than level 3, and you want to get people into level 1 from level 2. You just want to do that because you want to expand your network as much as you can. Because if you can do that, there's this benefit to both the people that are connected to you and to you yourself. And thankfully, I'm so grateful that I'm speaking to BYU students who understand the concept of atonement. All right, now this is kind of, just follow me here for a minute. But you think about it. What is atonement? Atonement is when Christ does something for us that we can't do for ourselves. When we're in a network, all right, we are helping people get to another place where they couldn't get to on their own. We're helping them do something that they could not do for themselves. So in a very minor way, very minor, I do not want to equate any of this to the incredible love and sacrifice that Christ has for us, or has done for us. But this is like being a type of Christ, all right? When you're helping other people, when you're helping people get to where they need to be, that's an amazing service you're doing for them. That being said, you do not want to take somebody to a place where they're not ready to go yet. Okay? Meaning that you want to be as generous as you possibly can within your own network, and help these people get to, you basically want to say, okay, well, what's the level of trust I have with this person, and then take that person to the edge of that level of trust, but not further, because it won't help them and it won't help you. It could make the relationship uncomfortable and strained, and you don't want to do that. You want to remain friends and help grow the trust between the two of you. So 2 things: trust and generosity. Make sure that you're being as generous as you can up to the point of trust you have with that person, and you're hoping that they'll do the same for you, and you know what, they just will. It's just part of the nature of people who are good people. So anyway, if you have any questions at all about this, about this levels of networking concept, please call me. Let me know what you think. But really, when I say leverage your network, what you want to do is look. You want to choose at most 5 people out of your network, starting from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 and 4, to help you get to where you need to be. So let's say you want to be in marketing in Chicago. Okay, you've identified an industry-ish type of thing. You've identified an area of emphasis. You've identified a location, a geography. If you have an industry, like let's say you want to be in Chicago because that's where Boeing is. You want to work for Boeing or an airline manufacturer. So you've identified geography, interest, industry, company. Well, look for people with those same things in your level 1 that could help you out. Now, if there's no one in your level 1 who works for Boeing in Chicago in marketing, then maybe say, okay, let's branch out to level 2. Okay, there's 2 people in my level 2 who fit that criteria. Then you branch out to level 3, and so you're thinking, well, I don't really know anybody in my level 3, so guess what, guys? Every single person who goes to BYU or who goes or has gone to BYU is already in your level 3. Okay, that's why I say use linkedin.com/alumni, because all those folks will already be helping you because they have a reason to connect to you. And so you can reach out to them and say, hey, you know what, I'm so and so. I'm looking to work for Boeing in marketing in Chicago, and I notice you're a BYU alum. I'd love to sit down and have a chat with you for just 5 minutes. And my guess is, at least half of them will respond back and say, yeah, I'd love to. It'd be great to chat with you, and I'd love to share my information with you. And you can't really reach out to level 4 because, like I said, those are connections of your connections. You don't really know them yet, but my guess is that if you get up to 5 people and you keep cycling through 5 people, like if let's say one of your level 3s doesn't work out, we'll find another level 3. But never go more than 5 people to leverage at the same time. So I think that's kind of it, guys. Here's my contact information. Again, my name is Matt Bunker. I'm the Vice President of Business Development with VisiSite Technologies and Spectrum Field Services. And my phone number is 703-338-1435. And of course, there's my email address. Call me, text me, email me, hook me up on LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff. I'd love to help you out, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your year. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for how you all represent BYU and the church in general and yourselves as individuals. I couldn't be more proud. I have 4 little kids, and they all look up to you. They're all so grateful to see you guys play on Saturdays and play during the week, and just seeing how you carry yourselves. It's just some of those just amazing to know who you are and what you represent. So again, feel free to reach out to me at any time, and go Cougs.